I am managing a $243 million real estate portfolio now full time because my wife told me that it doesn't matter what it takes. Even if it means we have to live under a bridge, let's go after it. Hear me out. I know that sounds crazy, but in entrepreneurship, especially for people starting off in entrepreneurship in the later part of their lives, when you're starting off, when you already have a family, you have kids, it can get really challenging. We've all heard the stories about burn the bridges and just go all in, but it's even more challenging to do that when you have kids to feed, when you have a wife at home, and you have a family to take care of. So one conversation changed everything for me. We started Excite Capital back in 2019. By that time, I already had two kids. I was working full time with my wife at home. Had a great job as a CRNA, making over six figures, multiple six figures, doing really well by any term of the standard. But, once you get in there in the profession and you start realizing that the only way you could keep making money is by exchanging your precious hours, missing out on your kids' life and all of that. I had to ask myself a lot of very difficult questions. I had like some tough conversations with my wife. Like, how long are we going to keep doing this? I'm a CRNA. She's a nurse practitioner. We all work in the hospital or we work in clinics. And if you know anything about healthcare, the schedules can be daunting. I'm talking 12-hour shifts, sometimes 16-hour shifts, and we all out of the house, missing time on our family. So I made the decision back in 2019 to start investing in real estate. At that point, my wife wasn't really involved. I tried to get her involved in real estate. She was like, no, 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 I don't want anything to do with that. You just go figure it out and let me know. So, but she held it down at home, making sure that everything was moving smoothly and trusted me and gave me the permission to go out there and explore, to go out there and try and do these things. So started with the real estate, single family real estate, worked out well. Then we started Excite Capital 2019 and started going after apartment complexes. In the beginning, there's a lot of skepticism. Like when I started, I've shared this story a lot. When we started Excite Capital, I kept it away from every other family member. The only person that really knew about it was my wife and maybe my younger brother. Kept it at wraps because I just didn't want the fears of other people to overshadow that growth. But I'm really grateful that I had a partner that just believed in me. It doesn't matter whatever it is that I was trying to do. She believed in and just let me fly and do this thing. So we started Excite Capital, started building, and things were going well. Closed the first deal, went full cycle on a deal, did really well. You start seeing the income coming from that, and the company is growing. Now my kids, my wife, they're witnessing all of this happening, the extra hours, coming back from work, spending hours upon hours on video calls, having conversations with investors, flying out to conferences, juggling a full-time job and building a business at the same time and managing the kids. So they're witnessing all of that. Right in the middle of COVID, we were very busy building our business. So the kids were out of school at home. So we get on Zoom calls and they'll be sitting down and listening to all that process. Same with my wife. So they saw all of this. They saw this building from the beginning to where we are today. So as the business continued to grow, now fast forward leading up to 2024, things are going well. The business is grown. We have multiple properties. I am the lead on the operation side, so I have to keep an eye on these properties. And you get to a point where you realize that you have to make a very critical decision. You have to make that decision right now. Do I want to keep doing anesthesia and building this business, or do I want to focus on building the platform that we've created at Excel Capital? It wasn't an easy decision to make because I love what I did in anesthesia. I love taking care of patients. I love the colleagues that I worked at. The hospital I was working at was great, Johns Hopkins Bayview Hospital. Great colleagues. Pay is amazing. Now I'm thinking about sacrificing something that is sure. The sure pay from my anesthesia work, which I know. I know how to give anesthesia. I know how to take care of patients. I know how to take care of critical patients. All I need to do is show up and take care of those patients, and I get paid a very decent salary. So I had to make that decision of to abandoning that surety, that certainty, to walk down a path of uncertainty. Now, Excite Capital at that time, $168 million of asset under management. Yes, the business was doing well, but if you know anything about multifamily real estate or commercial real estate, you become are wealthy in assets, but not necessarily in cash. So while we are making some income that is enough to take care of ourselves as founders and take care of our employees, it was nothing close to my anesthesia income. It was not even close, not remotely close to what I was making in anesthesia, not up to 20% of what I was making in anesthesia. So I had to leave that surety, that certainty in anesthesia to focus on Excite Capital. And that was a very difficult decision to make. I always went back to a quote that I learned along my journey. It's a quote from Tony Robbins that says, the quality of your life is dependent on the amount of uncertainty that you're able to deal with. So that quote kept coming back to my mind, and I realized that it's at this stage where I have to decide. I have to make that decision. Do I want to keep doing anesthesia and thinking that I'm managing our assets and let our assets maybe not perform to the level that they're supposed to perform and give the value to our community, this amazing community that we've built? Or do I want to go all in and focus on building this community and generating as much profit from our assets that we're capable of doing? Thinking about it from a logical, from a numbers and a long-term perspective, it was clear that building Excite Capital, going all in on Excite Capital is the right decision. But it's not an easy one to make because you're leaving a significant amount of income to go after build something. And I had to scale back because to make that decision, I realized that I have to scale back and I'm going to need to scale back for a few years, to focus fully on Excite Capital and give it some time to grow where hopefully we are able to start exiting some of these assets and this business and it's able to replace my anesthesia income. But deep down within me, deep down within my bones, I knew that was the right decision to make. But I was afraid. I was scared. And this is some of the things that we face a lot of times. There's that inner voice inside of you that tells you, that guides you towards growth. But then logic comes in and overshadows you with fear. So when I face situations like that, I like to go back to some of the people that I trust, that are close to me, and get their opinion. And that's exactly what I did. One Friday evening, after another long 12-hour shift, it had been a long week, came home, met my wife in the kitchen. She was making some chicken wings together with the kids, you know, and I approached her with this conversation and I told her I was thinking of going all in on Excite Capital and leaving my anesthesia job behind. I was thinking of going all in on entrepreneurship and leaving my job at the hospital behind. Without flinching, she looked at me and said, "Let's do it. Let's go after it. It doesn't matter what it takes. I believe in you. Even if it means we have to live under a bridge, let's do it. I believe in what you guys are doing at Excite Capital." In that moment, it hit me. It made me realize something really, really profound. When you start on your journey of growth and entrepreneurship, you might not have many believers. All you need is one. All you need is one person that sees you, that sees your vision, that sees the power of what you can create. And just tap into that and go. Understanding that I had the support of a partner, that we're building a home together, we have kids to take care of, gave me that liberty, that freedom, and that courage to step into this path and keep going. And that's exactly what I did. A week later, I walked into my job and I put in my resignation letter without looking back. And I gave them a 3 months notice. I was leaving in March of 2024, and I'm not looking back. And that's exactly what I did. In March of 2024, I walked away from my career, my job at the hospital as a CRNA to focus 100% on Excite Capital and my entrepreneurial ventures. And to say the last year or so and a few months hasn't been challenging would be an understatement. It has been challenging. I had to scale back a lot on a lot of things that I was comfortable with doing, a lot of regular expenses that I could take care of. I had to scale back just to the minimum, just to the necessary, taking care of the regular bills and making sure that my kids are provided for. Thankfully, my wife has been supportive throughout this process, and thankfully, as an anesthesia provider, you've been able to build a lot of savings, so to supplement for whatever that I was making from Excite Capital. But that decision completely changed the trajectory of our platform, Excite Capital. And it so happens that around that same period of time, Tenny and myself, we made that decision because after Dr. Oni had moved to Nigeria, we made that decision to go full time, to go all in on Excite Capital. And we both made the decision around the same time. So what does that mean? It means we have to build this platform. We have a huge community of people, of thousands of people that keep coming to be part of this community, that believe in what we're building, that believe in this community of work creation that we're building. We have a lot of people that depend on us. We have a lot of people that have trusted us, that have brought in their hard-earned savings to be part of the ownership group of these assets that we've presented to them. It's our duty to deliver for them. So that we had no questions about. So we had to leave our jobs and focus on this full time. And it has been amazing. Focus is key, guys. And when you realize that the only option is what you have in front of you, you put in a significant amount of energy in that option, and then you start seeing magic happens. It doesn't happen immediately. I gotta warn you. It's not that you quit your job and you focus on your business tomorrow and then the business blows up. No, you're going to be challenged. Actually, the first few months were very challenging. You experience challenges that makes you question that decision that you made. Did I make the right decision? Maybe I should just go pick up a shift. And trust me, the calls were coming. I still get calls today from locums people, $200, $300 an hour. I get the calls today and I turn them down. You have to say no to immediate gain and say yes to future gain. Have to be long-term greedy. So the first few months after I left my job to focus on Excite Capital were challenging. I had to make all these changes, do all of these things. But now what we had in front of us was more time to be able to focus on this and fix the system, and identify what we need to put in place to continue to grow, to continue to give those same value that we'll be giving to our investors and giving even at a much, much better pace. 8 months later, you start seeing the difference. The platform transforming. Like the amount of growth that we've achieved at Excite Capital over the last 16 months that we decided to focus full time on Excite Capital is way bigger than what we achieved when we were working full time as 9 to 5 professionals who are trying to build this platform. So, as an entrepreneur, what I tell people is this: do not quit your job. Don't listen to what I'm telling you right now and go quit your job tomorrow. Build the platform first while you still have your job. Start building the platform. And you're going to get to a point where you realize that it will make more sense for you to focus that time on the platform that you're building. And that is when you make that decision to walk away. Now, I've heard other people say that when your business is making enough income to replace the income at your job, that's when you quit. If you're a CRNA or if you're a doctor, like myself, or where you're a high income earner, it is tough to build a business to a point where it replaces your $400,000 yearly income, $500,000 yearly income, or $1 million yearly income from as a surgeon. It is tough to build a business that will replace that income without you focusing full time on that business. It's not going to happen. It is impossible to build a business that will be paying you $1 million a year if you're earning that as a doctor without you focusing 100% on that business. But you can get to a point where the business produces enough income to be able to take care of your daily needs, that's your minimal daily needs, and has the potential to grow to even surpass the income that you make as a professional. That is when you take the leap of faith and go all in. When you have enough resources coming from your business to be able to provide for your daily needs, that is when you take a leap. And if your business has the potential to grow to a point where it's bigger to replace your income, that is when you take a leap. So for us at Excite Capital, our goal has always been to build a portfolio or to acquire $10 billion of real estate assets. We are 243 million at that point. We were at 168 million at the point when I left. But the potential is there. When we get to 10 billion, the amount of income, personal income that we'll be generating for ourselves will be bigger than anything that I ever made as a CRNA. But it requires a significant amount of delayed gratification. It requires a significant amount of sacrifice that you make upfront so that you could get the outcomes, so that you could get the results in the back end. So I tell people, be long-term greedy. That's probably one of the best principles that I've learned along my journey, is to have this ability to be long-term greedy, to sacrifice the spoils of now for the gains of tomorrow. That is what I realized. That is what got me on this decision. Because I realized that if I stayed just working really hard, I was going to keep missing out on a good portion of my kid's life. It was sitting down and watching my daughter and realizing that I had missed out on a significant portion of her life that got me on this journey of investing. So that evening, that conversation with my wife, was the fuel, the confidence, the foundation that I was able to stand upon and keep pushing forward. That I was able to go confidently, waking up every morning, knowing that it doesn't matter what happens, my family is good. Because the guilt of not being able to take care of your family or to provide for your family like you used to can really, really affect your ability to be able to move forward. Now, just imagine if the tables were turned and you were in a situation, and I was in a situation where my partner did not believe in the journey that I was going into and was holding me back. I was making me feel bad about moving forward. There's absolutely no way I could have felt confident moving forward or doing the things that I wanted to do. So having that support was key. That conversation gave me the confidence to go out every day, put in the work that was necessary. And it also gave me a different kind of pressure, which is good. It's a good kind of pressure because I don't want to disappoint the people that believe in me. I don't want to disappoint the people that are willing to stand by me. I don't want to disappoint my wife because she believed in me and she's willing to make those sacrifices for us to build this platform and to build this mission for our community. I truly feel like I've been blessed, really, really blessed by the people that I've been surrounded with, the people that I've met along the way, and the community that we're building. And there's absolutely no way that we'll be able to build this community without the support that we have. And leaving my job, my full-time job, to focus on Excite Capital, it's probably one of the best decisions that I've ever made, but it was the most difficult decision that I've ever made. So if you're in a 9 to 5 right now, starting a business and thinking at some point about moving away, you know, keep going. You will get there. And when you get there, it'll all make sense. But keep going. It is possible to make it happen. We have done it. I've done it. Tenny has done it. And you can do it as well. So building a platform, building a business, and living your 9 to 5 is not open just for people who are not married or who don't have kids. It might be easier for them because they have less responsibilities, but it's not open just to them. It doesn't matter where you are in life, kids, wife, job, whatever, you can do it because I did it, and you can learn from my story how I did it. So from the beginning, we just started working, earning, while building the platform. And when the platform got to the point where it was able to take care of our daily needs, I was willing to make that sacrifice, let go of the income. And also because I had that confidence, that support of my partner, my spouse at home, I was able to do that as well. Yeah, so that's how right now we are sitting at 243 million of assets. When that decision was made, we had acquired about $168 million of assets. Since then, we've acquired more. We are $243 million of assets under management right now. And we are getting ready to acquire another $33 million asset. And there's another $32 million asset that is circling around our periphery because we have that ability to focus on this on a daily basis. We have the time to focus on this. We have the ability to go out, travel, do whatever we need to do. I'm not worried about my schedule. I'm not worried about my job. We are able to grow the company, grow the platform much faster. Have I replaced my anesthesia income? Not yet, but someday I will.